Hello, lovelies. I just wanted to share a message, a loving message to my younger self, and a little bit about this journey so far. So the message to my younger self is, you're so beautiful. You're so talented in ways you can't even see yet because you've been surrounded by so much bullying, so much hate, so many people who've been in competition with you, and it's because you're special. And instead of seeing yourself as special, you've internalized it. You've made yourself feel like it was because you weren't good enough. You had conditional love from your parent, that you were abused by your parent, that you were abused by your siblings and your teachers and your friends. That it was because there was something wrong with you. But it's actually not that at all. It's that there's something special about you that people felt intimidated by. They felt scared. Even your teachers, when you were a child, felt some kind of intimidation by your intense spirit, your soul. Because you're an old soul. And even at 8 years old, your teachers felt some need to compete with you. Even though it doesn't make any sense from a logical perspective, and likely it didn't make sense to them from a logical perspective, they were acting from unhealed wounds, and you signed up to attract almost 99% of people in your life were unhealed and damaging to you. It's because you signed up to have life on hard, because you're a chosen one. You're here to lead by example through walking through the darkness, first yourself and then guiding others. It's not going to be an easy journey. I wish I could make it a little bit easier for you. I wish I could tell you that it gets easier, or that you're going to make it out without any scars. But unfortunately, that's not the truth. It's going to challenge you. It's going to beat you up. It's going to make you feel like you can't go on. You're going to consider leaving this earth multiple times before you get to a place where you feel stable and start to understand how powerful and special you really are. As a future version of you, I can tell you that you are very special. You are very special. And the reason why you've been a scapegoat for so many people and a target for so many people, whether they be friends that you surrounded yourself with as a teenager who were attracted to your light and felt the need to invade your privacy. As a sexual being, you attracted a lot of adult men who wanted to see what it was like to touch you, to be near you. And you internalize that as something wrong with you, that you're not safe in your own skin. And I know that that's a very logical conclusion to come to. But it really just built resistance. It really just showed you how precious you are, that you can't just go surrounding yourself with a bunch of people who are going to hurt you. You have to be careful with who you surround yourself because of your light. Because the wrong people are going to try to hurt you. They're going to try to take that light from you. They're going to try to diminish it, depending on the person and their motives. No matter what their motives were, you surrounded yourself by a lot of very dark people who wanted you to feel lesser than, but you're not. And the best advice I could give you is to keep moving forward in faith, knowing that you're special, to be more careful with how you spend your time and with who, and to not self-destruct like you were taught to by your parent. Your parent was very messed up, very unhealed, very traumatized, and she isn't somebody that you should be forming yourself after. But none of the people that you had in your life up until about age 35 were people that you should be looking up to or trying to impersonate or emulate. The best thing you can do is look to God, look to Spirit, look to your angels, look to your higher self, look to your inner child, and to find healing, to find peace in whatever way you can, through your music, through your art, through your self-expression, through your courage, through your ability to die and be reborn, which you've always been so good at. It's one of your many gifts, and it exists for a reason, because you were always meant to die and be reborn over and over again until you became the version of you that you were here to be, which is a leader, a healer, a light worker, a chosen one, someone who is meant to lead many, because the world needs leaders. The world needs people who can stand in their authenticity and their truth, people who can just step in front and start speaking from the heart, not knowing what's going to come out of their mouth, but trusting their voice anyway. And you are a unique embodiment of that. Even if people have misunderstood you at every single turn, when you started your YouTube channel 4 years ago and started sharing really hard shit right off the bat, tears, so much authenticity, so much courage, and other people have tried to make you feel stupid or crazy or small because of this. And now those same people are in awe of who you've become because you've trusted your voice this whole time. I'm so incredibly fucking proud of you. I think you're an absolute shining example of someone who can rise from the ashes and show everyone that just because you're born into poverty and abuse and neglect and abandonment doesn't mean that you have to be all those things. It doesn't mean that you have to be the bully or the abuser. You get to break the chains. You get to break those intergenerational trauma cycles for your whole family lineage and lead from a new place of perspective, of healing, of love, of grace, of God, of divinity, and show everyone that it can be done. So you're actually an incredibly strong person. You always have been, and your resilience is what is going to carry you through, and it's going to lead a lot of people into the light from the dark places. And that's why you had to go through all that darkness, so that you could learn how to transmute it, how to move through it with confidence and courage, and turn around and guide others into their own healing and safety and compassionate periods of their life that are going to make everything worth it. It might not take away the pain, it might not take away all of the scars, but it is going to show you that everything you went through was for a purpose, and it wasn't to hurt you, and it wasn't because you aren't worthy, it's because you were actually very special, and other people are going to relate to your story. And the more bravely you can stand up and share that story, the more other people are going to heal and see themselves as not victims, but victors, people who are able to be reborn, to shed that old skin, to shed all that old weight, all the trauma, and to rise again from the ashes. And this is for anyone going through this, all right? I had a dream last night about a family member who was attacking me. And it wasn't just a normal dream. It was so realistic. It was so terrifying. I woke up sobbing. And I don't have dreams like this very often. And I know it was my subconscious mind healing and purging all of that heaviness because I am leveling up with intention. And we don't level up without releasing. We're not reborn from the ashes without a death. There has to be a death, a metaphorical one. And so if you're experiencing a lot of memories of hard things you've been through, if you're shedding a lot of heavy emotions, if you're having really disturbing dreams, it's because you're shedding these old layers of yourself, and they don't define you, and you don't have to carry them through your day and with a heavy weight around you, that you can acknowledge them and mourn them and feel them and honor yourself by doing that, but that it doesn't define you. It doesn't define who you are now, who you were then, or who you're becoming, that none of those things can hold you back unless you allow them to, that you're really more strong than you realize, and that we're all sovereign beings. No one has power over us unless we give them power. Okay? I don't care if they're the president, the prime minister, it doesn't matter. Nobody has power over us. As souls, we come here with spiritual authority. Everyone is equal, all right? A houseless person in the street is not better than or less than anyone else, and the president isn't better than or less than anyone else, and an average person like you or I is not better than or less than anyone else. We all have our own unique imprint as souls. We all carry a certain amount of magic with us in our souls, in our DNA, and no one gets to tell us what we're capable of, or how far we're going to go, or what matters and what doesn't matter. We know what matters to us, and that's all that we should be focused on. And if we're surrounded by a lot of people who can't hold space for who we're becoming, we need to remove ourselves from those chains that bind us and free ourselves to be a new version. I have walked away from seriously every person in my life to do this work. 5 years of extreme isolation, 3 years of celibacy, not even kissing another person, so not enough hugs, not enough physical touch or human contact. But you know what I do have now in spades? Self-love, resilience, strength, courage, wisdom, a fighting spirit, a determination, an ability to be reborn from the ashes and stand strong in my power, knowing that all those other people were trying to hold me back because they recognized just how powerful I was, even if it was subconscious. The reason why my mom was always in competition with me, trying to make me feel stupid or bully me or abuse me or manipulate me, is because she was threatened by my light, my strength, my resilience. I had to remove myself from every single person to do this work, and I'm so grateful to be able to have the strength and resilience to guide others forward now, including my own inner child, including my past self, to guide her forward and say, look at what you get to become. You came from nothing, absolute nothing, and you get to become this beautiful goddess, this talented, strong, powerful woman. You never would have thought, no one would have ever thought that you would get to become that, let alone me 5 years ago, let alone me 2 years ago. because I have transformed. And you know what? You can too. Anyone can transform. We're only as powerful as we allow ourselves to be. We're only as strong or as confident as we allow ourselves to be. We're only as impactful as we allow ourselves to be. And if we never give ourselves a voice, if we never allow ourselves to be vulnerable, one of my first videos was me sharing about the shame I felt of being in an abusive relationship. And I look like shit, I'm wearing something weird and frumpy, I'm crying, I don't have a stitch of makeup on. That was one of my first videos. So other people misunderstood what I was trying to do. But when I look back on that version of me, I'm so proud. I'm so fucking proud of how authentic I was, of how I didn't need other people's validation, of how I was just following my own inner compass. And all this workshop is really telling me is that everything I've been doing has been guided and intuitive, and I didn't need to be led by anyone, because back then it didn't feel like anyone was doing what I was doing. I was supposed to be a leader, a visionary. If you have a little seed that's guiding you, it's because you're meant to be maybe the first person to do that thing, or one of the first people to do that thing. That you're paving the way for other people to do that thing. And that you don't need other people's permission, because visionaries aren't here to live like other people. We're not here to pull from the past. We're here to create the future. Create the future by living your dreams, by stepping into your power. Every single person that's shared has had some beautiful perspective, beautiful heart, beautiful soul that needs to be seen. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter if you feel powerful or not. You are, and your voice matters. Your story matters. Other people are going to relate to you. Maybe not the people surrounding you, almost never the people surrounding you. But the more you step into your authenticity, the more the people relate to you, will find you. And if you don't, they never will, because you're always going to be in the background pretending like you're not special. You're not going to be able to be found by your soul family or the people that are going to lift you up and actually support you and nurture this version of you if you're surrounding and filling your cup with people who don't. We have to empty our cup of what doesn't serve us to fill it with what does. And I fucking love you. All right, if you're feeling this heavy energy, just transmute it into something creative, creating content, sharing something vulnerable, journaling, writing music, dancing, drawing, painting, and know that tomorrow's a new day, and just take a deep breath and keep moving forward. I fucking love you.